Welcome to another installment of Monster Matinee. Today we'll be presenting a movie that I've been just dying to share. It's about a pair of unsuspecting auditors who attempt to apply the risk assessment standards. As you know, audit risk is a function of the risk of material misstatement and the detection risk. And since there's absolutely nothing you can do about the RMM, then it all falls on the decisions of the auditors. Now that is frightening. Now it's time to go get yourself a treat. I've got a bowl of ice cream. And it's my favorite flavor, Butterfinger. Well, sit back and enjoy the audit of Drac Wolfenstein. Nummy, nummy, nummy.
You sure this was the right place?
The address matches our permanent files. Anyway, you're the one who didn't want to stop and ask for directions.
We need to get information about this client before we can even begin to think about writing an audit program.
Good evening. You must be the auditors from Deloitte Tooth. Do come in.
I knew I should have worn my turtleneck.
As you know, Count, this is our first time auditing your company.
Yes, I used to use my brother's firm, but I learned there was an independence problem because he was a blood relative.
Before we can get into your books, we really need to know a little bit more about your company.
We are already aware of the demand for castles in the area and that you manufacture building stones, so that's a good start.
Do you have any particular business risks?
The local villagers can be a problem at times.
How is your overall financial performance?
Sales and cost are good, but our debt service is bleeding us dry. In addition, for some reason, we can't find any workers for the daylight shift. Go figure.
And how about internal control?
Oh, that is excellent. Without that, I would be absolutely batty.
Any personnel issues?
I do worry about my CFO. Sometimes I think he's not all there. Shoosh, here he comes now.
Evening, Count.
Evening, Claude.
Okay then, we'd like to take you out to dinner before we get started.
Oh, nice.
How about some Italian? How about some garlic chicken?
Oh, no.
How about a steak?
Oh, sorry.
No, I've got it. We should go to Denny's for the sunrise special.
Oh. I think I'll just pass on a formal dinner and get a quick bite so you two can get to work. Good evening. I can never get that right.
My. It looks like our friends may be having second thoughts about accepting this engagement. I certainly hope it doesn't come back to bite them. Anyway, I was just listening to some tunes on my iPod. I just love that delicious pop singer, Katy Scary. My favorite is her hit tune, California Ghouls. But enough of that nonsense. As you know, our friends have a lot more planning to do before they even begin to start testing. I do hope that they remember to consider the possibility of fraud. I personally find a brainstorming session particularly helpful to identify issues, don't you? Let's get back to the movie, shall we?
I think we've got a good start now that we've had our group meeting.
Yeah, as silly as this whole concept seems, it is amazing the ideas that come out of these brainstorming sessions.
Granted, some of the stuff we come up with is far-fetched, but it does make sure we don't miss anything.
Yep, I think we've anticipated just about anything we could possibly encounter. Except for that.
The Count said I could find you two in here. I'm Carl Canis. I'm the controller here. Oh!
Oh, I'm glad you're here. We need to discuss your system of internal control.
Well, I'm embarrassed to say this, but there really isn't much documentation. There really isn't much to sink your teeth into.
Why not?
Well, a short while back we had, a little mishap with the document shredder.
No worries. It'll still be helpful for us to evaluate it.
Well, we still need to test it?
Most likely not. We will only test it if we plan to rely on it.
And based off what you've said, that doesn't seem very likely.
That's good. I only look at it once in a full moon. Oh! Blue moon. Why evaluate it if you know it's not that good?
Because it's a part of our planning.
Yes, it will help us identify risks in the audit.
Oh, I see. I guess things could get a little hairy.
Say, would you go fetch any documents you have?
Yeah. Sure.
I'm glad he's gone for a few minutes so we can talk. We need to consider the risk of fraud.
True. And there are 3 conditions necessary for fraud.
Yep. Purpose,
Opportunity,
and rationalization. Oh, good boy.
What's that smell?
Oh, disgusting.
Bad dog! Bad dog, no biscuit!
At least our 2 friends are polite. My experience is that my auditors always find something to howl about. Anyway, they've got a long way to go. They have to consider everything they've learned so far and identify any risks. And that will include identifying any significant risks. You know, those particularly tricky issues. They wouldn't want to leave any loose ends. Well, I suppose we should be getting back to the film. But first, I must have a glass of milk to go with my Ghoul Scout cookies. I have a brand new box of my favorites, the Skin Mints.
What are we doing in this place?
I don't know. The Count said this was R&D. Based off our initial study, this could be a problem area.
The thing about the risk assessment process is that it does allow us to create our audit programs based on what is most important.
Without that kind of focus, an audit could turn into a real monster. Speak of the devil.
You must be Mr. Stein, head of the audit committee.
Call me Franklin. How's the audit?
Actually, we've only finished putting together our audit program.
Really? What's taking so long?
Well, under the risk assessment standards, a lot of time is spent in the planning stage to ensure that the audit is focused.
That's right, we actually tailor our procedures based on the risks.
We look at where errors could occur and how bad they could be, and based on that, we design an audit program.
Without proper linkage, we could end up with a bunch of junk just thrown together.
Yes. I know the feeling. Poor planning could lead to a real shock.
What's that racket going on outside?
Look out the window, Franklin! The villagers are coming to destroy you!
No, they're coming for you. This audit is supposed to be done last week.
That was certainly unexpected. Personally, I was expecting Franklin to go all to pieces. Well, now it's time for me to bid you adieu, my friends. And speaking of friends, I'm having a couple of friends for dinner tonight. Bon appetit to me. Farewell until next time.